Hey everybody, welcome to the ASS Podcast. That's the Animation Success Stories Podcast. If you guys never watched or listened to this before, let me tell you what it's like. Yeah, what are you doing? Go away. We don't want you. Just kidding. Stay, please. We need the viewers. But listen, this is how it works. We talk to people in the animation industry professionals. We hear their story. We hear the mountains that they needed to climb and the rivers they needed to traverse to get to where they are right now and all the shit they needed to trod through in order to end up where they are in the industry right now. Today, we are talking to Maximus Pauson right over here. He is a character designer for television animation, and we're talking to Brent Noll as well. Double whammy today. Brent is a background and prop designer for TV animation.
And a 3D modeler.
I do it all, turkeys. What's up, Brent Nollers?
What's up, Brent Heads?
Brent Heads. Yeah, I like Brent Heads.
Dude, Ant, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
You're really good at introducing.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
I've been practicing for days.
For days.
But they also, which is really cool, the reason we have both of them on today is you guys are in for a treat. They have a podcast, actually a YouTube show called BAM Animation, right?
Yeah. Do you know what BAM stands for?
Boom?
It's
Brent
and
Max.
Brent
Oh,
and Max.
shit.
Brent and Max. BAM Animation. bam.redrawmyart@gmail.com.
Yeah, you know.
Send in your art. And
Okay,
we'll
well,
do
we'll
stuff.
tell you later.
We'll tell you later.
Okay.
Okay.
Why
Alright,
didn't you guys
so-
do NAM?
We'll
That's a really good point.
We'll
We
come-
fucked up,
Yes,
Brent.
fucked up.
Yeah.
We'll come
It wasn't on our.
Yeah,
it wasn't on
after
our.
this
We'll just
intro.
let's circle around.
We
Yeah,
will
yeah,
loop
yeah.
back to that. So we're going to find out all about their ass. We're going to dig deep into their ass. Animation success story.
yes.
Don't get gross. We're going to dig deep into their ass and find out how they got to where they are today. Right after you listen to this music that we stole.
Crappy music. And we're back.
Welcome back to the ASS Podcast.
I have a proposal, Ant.
Oh,
I was wondering.
I do.
If maybe that me and Brent could introduce each other. Like, I could tell you about Brent.
Yes.
And Brent could tell you
Oh.
about me.
Hell yeah, you
Wait,
can
this
do
is
that.
complicated.
This,
Who am I talking
yeah.
about?
You're gonna
That
tell a
sounds
story.
amazing.
You're gonna say who I am,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say who Brent is. Is that okay?
That sounds so cool. Yeah,
Okay.
I love that. This is getting more interesting than usual already.
All
Do you
right.
want- do you want me to ask my first question, or you guys just want to go for it?
Let's just do our little intro.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay. So my name
Go.
is Brent. Okay.
Oh, wait, you're going to introduce yourself
No, they're gonna
as
confuse-
Brent.
they're gonna
No.
confuse
My name is
them.
Max. My name is Max, but I'm going to introduce Brent. So Brent here from Texas. Okay, comes from outside of Austin, Texas. Am I right?
That's true.
He spent the majority of his life growing up. Many people would play outside, with the trees and stuff. Brent played outside in the world of Warcraft. He spent all of his
snap.
time
That's my
online.
hometown.
He spent all of his time online.
Azeroth is my homeworld.
Yeah, he drew.
Border Alliance.
Yeah.
Oh, Horde, yeah.
He drew pictures. He and I think just like knowing you, you're a very different person than maybe the rest of Texas. I've never been to Texas. No shame.
No, I'm a freaking weirdo.
Yeah, you heard it here. And so Brent, he developed in that world of Warcraft and online and posted pictures and became like a big part of like the internet. And then you came out here and you made it. Like that's a really special story. Like I had to go to like a fancy school and get
Don't
like
spoil
connections.
it. That's what I'm gonna.
He's about to tell it. Tell us.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's pretty cool. So Brent threw himself into the internet and became what he is because of that.
Yeah. Like when
Cool.
he came out here, he got to blossom.
Nice.
So, yeah.
No,
Cool.
I think that's the most perfect and simplest explanation of who I am as a person. I'm gonna steal that from my Bumble portfolio. Yeah.
Get it, ladies.
All right.
Ladies.
All right,
Well,
Brent, let's hear about
guys
Max.
and ladies, I would like to tell you about my friend Maximus Pauson. He would be self-described dirty kid from the dirty streets of San Francisco. I think he's told me, he's confided in me that he's had a pretty rough life, but you know what? He's done amazing things with himself. He was super into drawing as a kid and super into that old comic, Adventures of Tintin.
Tintin.
Yeah, Tintin.
Oh,
Not
no
Rin
way.
Tintin.
Not Rin Tintin.
10.
Max has been drawing his whole life, and the first chance he went to an art high school, and he is just a really amazing and social person that just loves to like absorb new information and absorb like things from people around him. And like I've never seen such an information sponge in my whole life.
Yeah, and I think like our friendship has been really beneficial, and when we met, we like instantly became friends. So
Ow.
yeah.
Unlike me, Max went to
Ow.
unlike me,
Getting
Max
sappy.
Max went to a super fancy art school.
I got a scholarship.
You got a scholarship
by the name of
Art Center.
College of
Yeah.
Design.
Nice.
Yeah,
And-
Scholarships, guys.
yeah.
And he's really made quite a transition in his career and done all these different styles and different things. Like you went from wanting to being a children's book kind of author to doing more extreme like perspective animation stuff. And
Wow.
now he's a character designer and has he's like quite well known in the industry, I would say.
And I'm a character designer, and now a YouTube star.
And now YouTube.
I'm-
He's a YouTube personality,
Guys, he's
ladies and
famous.
gentlemen.
Soon to be podcast.
Famous.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Well,
So
that was
thanks
great.
for letting us do that.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was awesome.
And we're done here. Just kidding.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Yeah, thanks for doing that, guys. That was fun. So now I know a little bit more about both you guys.
Yeah.
Through them.
Through them.
Through-
I mean, who knows? They could have been completely
They were
lying about
channeling,
everything.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
How you channel.
Yeah.
All right, so let's, I guess, wind it back to the first question we usually ask all of our guests here on the Ass Podcast, which is, what is your first animation memory? What's your first memory as a kid that made you either get interested in animation or the first time you've ever really been wowed by, hey, this fucking cartoon is great?
I
Would
know
you
that
like to
one.
go?
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Let's hear it.
Well, the year was 1994, and I somehow had the like Beauty and the Beast like behind the scenes like VHS,
Yeah.
Ooh.
and watched that little sequence where they like show like James Baxter working away in his cubicle, and they're like, somehow James Baxter, he's got this chip in his head, he's like a computer, he can rotate Belle and the Beast in 3D in this 3D ballroom, and the camera like pans through the ballroom and it's got that like pencil test, and I'm like, as a kid I'm like freaking out like, holy shit, that's like a bunch of drawings, like how do you do that? That's amazing, like animation is so cool, like
Wow.
That was
Maybe,
an incredible
like-
sequence.
maybe one day I'll be a background designer, because like that seems like the not hard part.
That's what
Oh
you
my
thought right
God.
then and there? You
Oh, I
wanted to
knew
do
from a
that?
very early age. I was like, I'm gonna do background.
How
color,
wrong
that
you
seems
were.
not hard.
Wait, how old were you when you were watching this? 94, so I mean,
Oh, I was like 6.
you were like 6.
I was like
Wow,
6 or
okay.
7. I saw that sequence.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty tight, man. That's a really good one. That's super specific and unique. A lot of times people are just like, oh, Looney Tunes.
Well,
That's like super on the nose.
Yeah.
That's great.
We-
Well, I
Guys,
gotta,
it's
you know,
Looney
there was other times when I was like 13. I was watching King of the Hill, and I was like, who has to draw the boobs? Like,
Ah!
what is that a job? Like, what do the people think when they?
I
draw
want to
boobs?
do
Just
that.
Yeah. you wanted to specifically be the boob drawer.
Yeah.
Like they finished the whole cartoon and left the boobs.
Well, I thought
out.
there might be like a person who specialized in boob drawings.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there isn't yet, but you could be that
I
person.
could be like,
Yeah.
I'm not really good enough to do that. Maybe Max could. Anyway, what about you, Max?
Yeah, Max, what's your first animation memory?
I mean, I like every kid. I watched all the cartoons on TV, and
Sure.
I watched all the movies, the Disney movies.
Mhm.
But I feel like the real like moment when like it clicked that it was drawings was I think a little bit later when I was maybe like 13, and I was starting to go through like cognizant changes
Sure.
where like I realized like that there was a world that I wasn't the center of. Come on, guys! And then
What?
No, that
No.
yeah.
Wait,
So-
am I not the center of the world?
and I was in a video store. I don't know if you've heard of that, you young kids, but there's a store. There were
Blockbuster?
stores, and there was a fancy like arty one, and they had this movie on called The Triplets of Belleville in like 2002.
Yeah, that's about right.
And there was this scene of all these old women, and they were clapping their hands,
Yeah.
and I said, "Fuck, I don't know how to draw hands." Like, and I was like, "Look how many good drawings of hands are in that scene."
Yes.
Yeah.
Great advice. If you draw hands. If you can draw hands, you can draw almost anything else.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was just like, damn, like, animation is awesome. I want to do it.
Yeah, so you were like 13 and you saw Triplets of Belleville in this little arty video store.
In a video store on the screen, had no idea what it was, didn't
Yeah.
even see the movie for another couple years, but
Uh-huh.
it was just that scene left an impact on me. So.
That's pretty another super specific one. That's
Yeah.
great. So were you guys like just gifted from the beginning as far as drawing goes, or did you guys have to like work your asses off?
No,
to
I'm a
get...
hack, dude. I'm
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
No, I was like drawing like the anime and tracing stuff. I mean, I traced stuff until I was like 16. I never even drew anything like legit.
Yeah.
Until I was like in high school making like stick figures of my World of Warcraft character, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna try to draw this axe from memory.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, no, it's all the stuff I made before 18 was like awful.
Yeah. Before I was about 15, I was really good at drawing Garfield. Like, I don't know. I think a lot of people can relate. But
I think we had someone else on the podcast who said the same thing.
Yeah.
Where, like, Garfield was their go-to drawing.
I don't
want to draw.
That's so
Garfield
weird.
and like Sonic are pretty.
Yes,
same,
I'm
yeah.
the Sonic one.
Yeah.
Well, the beauty with Sonic is you wanted to draw one eye and then draw two people's.
Yeah.
I also loved his shoes.
You also love what?
Sonic's shoes.
Oh, shoes, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Sonic's
Tennis
a
shoes.
great design.
Yeah, so
Tails.
you guys basically, you had talent, but you needed to really hone it in order to like really bring your skills up in order to.
Well, I still don't have talent. But I just
shut up.
practice enough and it worked.
That's not the case.
You just copy and paste. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel imposter syndrome every time you make a line.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah?
for sure.
Yeah.
What do you mean imposter syndrome? You mean like you feel like you're ripping somebody off?
No, you feel like you don't know that you're in the wrong.
Oh, okay.
You shouldn't have this job.
That's normal.
You suck. Like, I mean, I do. Like,
That's normal.
I'll make a line like, God damn. That was the worst line.
That's actually like really.
I'm fired.
That's really good advice for like people out there, because I'm sure a lot of people out there feel that way, that are trying to like get into the industry, and then they just doubt themselves, and maybe they don't even pursue it anymore. Is there any way that you can kind of get over that when you're drawing a line, you're like, oh fuck, dude, I suck? What do you tell
I
yourself?
know.
Oh, well, that
So,
one.
so what does Sabrina think?
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, like, look up a lot of people's like progress work, because you'll see that everybody's like work starts out as shit in the beginning.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's my piece of advice.
Yeah. Or I might think to myself as I make like a really terrible line, like, this is a terrible line, but you know what? It's better than everybody else in my class.
At least I'm doing it.
At
You
least
don't-
I'm the biggest fish in this pond.
Yeah, you don't have to be the fastest in the world. You just have to outrun your friend from the bear.
That's true. So you were terrible, but you were confident. That's what mattered.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think it's healthy to have a mix of confidence and unconfidence.
Yeah.
You know, you need a reality check, but you can't let one overwhelm the other. Okay?
For sure.
The force needs balance. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say balance 50-50, man. You gotta make sure that scale doesn't tip.
Yeah.
For
So,
sure.
I mean, I can't remember where I heard this, but there's 3 steps when you draw.
Mhm.
There's thinking about what you're going to draw.
Mhm.
That's step 1. Step 2 is drawing it, and step 3 is basking in the glory of what you've done.
I like step 3.
Yeah. So I like step 1 and 3.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
fucking hate step 2 because
no way.
every time you make a line, you're like very self-critical.
Mm.
But you know, it's like you got to bring the ring to Mordor. You just take that step, and you'll get there.
The podcast is just chock full of wonderful advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the egos can't drop the ring in the fire of Mount Doom for you. You have
Exactly.
you have to do that journey.
Well,
Are
yeah.
we just gonna like spew a bunch of quotes?
I think so. I think
Great.
that's what this podcast is.
when I feel really
Wait, these
bad
are
though,
quotes. You guys aren't just making this up.
yeah.
We're that clever.
When I feel really bad though, I tell Brent, can you complete this drawing for me? And he says, I can't do it for you, but I can carry you. And then he fucking
He completes you.
yeah, he complete me,
You
Brent.
are Sam
Okay.
and Frodo.
I've been
You
carried in a lot of
brotherly
games
love,
before.
bromance.
That's good.
So okay, another question for you guys about
Yeah.
this. So you both told me when your first like animation memory was like your first time you really fell in love with animation. But when did you realize you wanted to do it as a profession? When did that peak in your mind? You're like, shit, I want to do this. I want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to make money doing this. I want this to be me. Was there like a moment that
When did it become a
Yeah.
pursuit?
I haven't had that moment, dude. I want to do
Yeah.
something else.
No.
Sorry,
No,
go
I-
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I knew because like when I was like 19, I was doing caricatures in a theme park, and I was
Oh,
looking
shit,
up
19.
information about that online. Yeah. I used to work at SeaWorld. I would draw people
Oh
on Shamu.
snap!
Oh yeah, and
In Texas, SeaWorld?
oh yeah,
Oh, nice.
and I was like finding information about cartoons and caricatures, and this blog came up called John K Stuff.
Yeah,
And I
for
started
sure.
reading about John K, and like I started looking at the people he was talking about, and I found like 3 artists. I found Callie Fontecchio, Zach Bellissimo, like Mike Chillian, and like Jack Cusimano.
Nice.
And I was like, who are these people? They
We've had
work in
Kelly on here.
yeah, they work in TV. Like they live in Hollywood. Are these people rock stars? I want to be just like them.
Well,
And I like
half of them are.
yeah, and I just like looked at pictures of them online. I was like, I want this life. Like, I could if I moved to LA and like study art, like I could do this.
Did
like,
you have a single white female moment?
What's a single white female?
Yeah, I'm old. It's a movie about a woman who tries to assimilate someone else's life.
That's so
Yeah, no, I
so
wanted to
funny.
assimilate their life. I wanted to be Mike Chillian. I was like,
I remember meeting you through Mike Chillian, so
Yeah.
it's all funny.
So you actually did infiltrate.
yeah, no, it was a calculated maneuver.
Oh, nice.
I like found them all online,
he was a
friended them,
stalker
and I was
before he
like,
became the real
Sometimes
friend.
that's what you gotta do.
yeah.
Open the door.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, one day I'm gonna talk to one of them. Well, I don't know, we'll see what happens. And then like literally like a month later, like Jack like posted a status, I commented on it, and we started talking like online. And then when I moved out here, you know, like we hung out a few times, and he invited me to come work on Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Shit.
So the infiltration worked. Like,
Yeah.
Well, also,
Jack and
I was
Terry
not
are also
malicious
good
about
people.
it. I just I loved that they did something, and I wanted to do it too. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is how you do it. These are the role models to be like.
Yeah.
So
Jack and Terry are good people, and so is Zach.
for sure.
Everyone you list are like people like these are people you can reach out to
Yeah.
who work in the
Yeah.
industry, and they're accessible.
Yeah.
They give you advice, information, whatever you need.
I saw all their work online. I was like, I have to make work just like this. Like these are going to be my influences. Like they are successful. It's working for them. Like I could do this too.
Nice. So I guess it pays off if you see somebody online that you like really admire, want to emulate. Contact that person. Like, don't be a dick about it. Don't flood their inbox, but like
or
contact
ask
them.
for a job.
Yeah, don't ask.
Yeah,
them.
no, I never sent any of them emails.
Yeah.
I commented on their Facebook status, and maybe I sent Jack a few emails once just to ask him about his job. But it was, yeah, no, it's you're learning from. You can't learn this stuff in school, so you have to reach out to the people who actually do it.
Yeah.
And I would also like to say, like, you also had a really large body of work that you were doing on your own time that you could, you could come to the table and be like, hey, this is what I'm
Can you
doing,
look at
where
this?
can I improve,
Yeah.
like, yada, yada, yada.
From the beginning, they would follow. They followed me back as well online, and they would like my stuff and comment, and so there was a lot of feedback in between all of us.
So it was like two people, like them and you, posting, like, doing what you love, and, like, the love just, like multiplied.
Yeah. For me, I felt it was just so important to engage in that online community sphere, like be a producer of content, make art, and then like enjoy their art and like be part of that.
For sure, yeah. Dive into that online community, I guess, is good advice, right?
I'm just a weird online person, so that made sense to me.
Everyone is.
Yeah.
So wait, it's interesting that you were looking at all their stuff, but they were mostly character people, right? And you were into backgrounds.
Well,
So-
at the time, I wanted to do characters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And meanwhile, I was looking at your stuff on Tumblr.
Oh,
yeah.
see,
It's like the Ouroboros.
the cycle continues.
The circle
Nice,
of life.
Cool. So how about you, Max? Do you have like a time that it clicked in your head you want to do it for a profession?
Yeah, I actually worked in video games a bit at Disney Interactive, and I did some pitching in the mobile division.
How did you get into that?
So I'll back up a little bit. When I was 15, there's this arts high school that's a public school in San Francisco called School of the Arts.
Oh, cool.
And it's a very cool school, and I was really lucky because I did like 2 sets of auditions to try to like get into that school, and on the second one I was able to get in. The audition was like drawing still life, and so then like from age 15, half my day is academics, and then half my day is like doing figure drawing and painting and still lifes, and all very foundation based like classical drawing. So I was really lucky to have that. I hated every moment of it, every single moment.
Yeah,
like,
but it was necessary.
super worth it. And if anyone's like, doing hand studies or doing studies of glass, like it's crucial. Like you're gonna love yourself for doing it.
Is that school still around?
Yeah, it is. It's a really good school.
Cool.
And then so from there, I for some reason the college counselor was like way out of touch and told me I needed to take all this math and like 4 years of French, and then finally when I got to college, I like tried for all these different colleges. I was really aiming towards RISD, Rhode Island School of Design.
For sure, yeah.
Because I wanted to be a children's book illustrator, and they have a lot of like stuff like that over there.
Yeah.
And I submitted, and I was like, guys, I did 4 years of French. They're like, we don't give a shit. Where's your portfolio?
Yeah.
So I gave them my portfolio, and I didn't get into RISD.
Oh, shit.
But I did get into this school called Art Center, and I was like, what the hell is Art Center?
Sorry.
Like, I'd never heard of it before. It's down in LA. And so when I came down here, everyone was driving themselves to get a job in animation.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. Like, I was like, I'm going to do children's books. And I was stubborn for like 4 years until I got out of school and I was like, children's book illustrators don't make any money.
Yeah.
I need to do animation, and I relearned my love for it, and now I'm in animation.
That's cool. What was your initial attraction to children's book animation? What made you? I mean, children's book illustration. What made you want to like pursue that so passionately?
I think I felt like children's books are some of the things that and shows, actually, now that I think about it, are some of the things that really stick with people until they're older. I was a big fan of Maurice Sendak, who did Where the Wild Things Are, and Dr. Seuss, and like I'm like, yeah, I love Shel Silverstein. I'm like, these guys came in, they established like a style that was like not postmodern, like it was very genuine with what they were saying, but they could still be funny and like still say a lesson and whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just felt like you could. It was more of a challenge to say something deeper. To children than it was to say something deeper to adults, and I just like that.
That's an interesting interpretation of that.
Yeah,
because you're right. Children's books often form our worldview. We learn lessons from that. Like we kind of like cultivate like how we view society, and like that's a complicated thing to tell to a child.
You're
but, like,
literally like setting an imprint in their mind.
And it's one of those things like it's super critical and super tough. So yeah. I can see that being like a really good challenge.
Yeah.
Adults are like, fuck it.
Adults take everything for granted.
Yeah, they're definitely more cynical.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure all of us could just name a children's book that
Richard Scarry.
We really
The
have
Giving
like
Tree.
within us.
Or Peter Cottontail.
Yeah.
Giving Tree's gonna make me
Where's
cry.
Waldo?
Oh, Peter Cottontail's great.
Yeah.
What about you, Brent?
The Very Hungry Caterpillar.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god, yes!
You look like you would like
That
book.
was the best.
He ate all the things.
Or what was the one about poop?
Everybody
poops.
Yeah.
Yes!
That's the good book.
I don't think I ever read
I
that.
I swear on
Yeah.
that book every morning.
Or the Catholic version, nobody poops but you.
Oh.
It's all about Kim Jong-il.
Yeah.
It's about the supreme leader of North Korea.
Okay, so I have a question.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
So we heard that you went to like a high school for the arts and everything. Did Brent go to any specific type of school like before college, or did you at least do any certain types of classes before college?
Nope, just hung out on the computer and played World of Warcraft and went to a regular Texas public high school where they do football and whatever, I don't know.
You're giving hope to so many people right now.
Yeah.
No, he is, because there's a lot of people that do a lot of regular like schooling out there.
Yeah, there's many avenues to get.
Yeah, there's so many avenues. I went through the super backwards way. Like, I have no formal education in like any of this, and like I got like cheated out of a art education because I went to like a fine arts school in Texas where they don't teach you anything.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I kind of knew early on that I wanted to do animation, so like when I was in school, I just spent a lot of time like drawing by myself and doing like stuff outside of school. And then when I could finally complete school, like I could leave and then come out here. But like, I worked in advertising, I did graphic design, I did whatever art jobs I could take, and none of it was through school. Like, school didn't help me at all.
Interesting. Was
That's such a big
through
tip.
contacts, or what was it through? Just like you putting your resume out?
Well, I did caricatures. That was like a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
So like I found a theme park and started doing caricatures, and caricatures was like a great experience because you're basically doing life drawing 8 hours a day.
Steven Silver, the character designer for Kim Possible, also started out as doing caricatures.
So yeah, when I went to interview at caricatures, they were like, "Well, do you like animation?" Because this guy's Steven Silver, and I was like, "I love Steven Silver." And because they told me that, I was like, "I want to be a caricature artist. Like that's gonna be my life path too."
Oh, shit. They mentioned that to you when you were interviewing for that, or
Yeah.
Oh,
And they were like, "If you're interested in animation, this would be a good spot for you because Steven Silver."
nice.
And I just heard recently that they tell people, well, if you like Rick and Morty, Rick and Morty artists worked here too.
What? No way.
Yeah, that's what they tell people now. They show them my portfolio.
In
and they're
SeaWorld
like,
in Texas?
Yeah, they say Steven Silver went here and so did Brent Noll.
Oh, so Steven Silver was the caricature artist at that same...
No, not
at that
same.
one.
But he worked for our company. He worked for Commons, which was like a caricature company.
Yeah, I think he was at Knott's or maybe
Yeah.
the SeaWorld out here. He was like one of the local ones in LA.
Yeah.
I heard
sick.
Disneyland does caricatures, right?
Yeah, they have a caricature.
Okay.
one. Yeah.
So if anybody wants to know.
Yeah, I don't know. So if you don't have access to a college or something like that, I highly recommend picking up caricatures if you're near a theme park. Like, that's like the best experience. And you'll get paid a ton too because you get commission.
What?
And it's super fun.
It's the first time we've ever had that
So
advice.
yeah, it's like the best thing you can do as a 17-year-old when you need an art job.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting paid to practice.
You're getting paid to
Yes.
practice, and you
Yeah.
don't need to be very good either. Like,
Yeah.
honestly.
Everybody go be a caricature
Yeah,
artist right
I
now.
took they teach you there, they pay you, and it's It's like a 2-week course that you get paid for, and then you like get to do it.
It's like a very specific, like all the caricatures I always see on boardwalks and stuff. They're all like very specific styles, like the same kind of look.
It's the same kind of look. You're learning essentially a parlor trick, and you get a marker and you like learn all these like hand movements to do like noses and hairs and stuff like that, and you practice that same look over and over again. And it's a good intro into just basically like hand skill, like inking work. It's not like super artistic, but you're gonna learn a shit ton from it.
Yeah,
Nice.
I can imagine.
Nice. That sounds awesome. Yeah, that's
cool.
Really good advice.
So we covered schooling.
Yeah. Next question, guys. I'm curious. So we figured we found out where you went to school. But I'm curious how that led, or if it didn't lead, to your first animation gig, your first professional animation gig. How did you go from whether it was Art Center or what college did you go to, Brent?
Texas State University.
Texas State. Shout out Texas State.
He escaped.
Go Bobcats.
Go Bobcats, yeah. So how did you go from those schools to your first gig in animation? Was there a long gray period where you were just twiddling your thumbs, or was there like an immediate boom, or what happened? What was that
Or
like?
person.
Why don't you
Or
take
person,
that?
yeah.
Okay. So, Art Center. A lot of people did work in the industry, but the school didn't necessarily help me.
Yeah.
They kind of gave me like, okay, here's how you make a portfolio.
Uh-huh.
A lot of recruiters do come through Art Center, so I got my first gig at Disney Interactive through a recruiter who was from Disney Interactive.
Okay.
And they needed
so helpful.
they needed interns, so it was really nice.
That was good.
So I did get to go to Disney Interactive, but as soon as that dropped off, I realized that they just needed interns for 6 months because it was very cheap.
Yeah.
And like they weren't going to keep people beyond that, and I didn't really have like a future in video games. I think like because there was. Maybe I would if I like started my own studio or something, but like as far as like most people who work in video games, the jobs are kind of sparse, and a lot of them want this very photorealistic kind of style.
Yeah.
So I was like unemployed for 6 months, and I don't have parents, so like I didn't eat, and I was like fuck, I gotta get a job. So my friend from Art Center. This is the good thing of like going to a school like Art Center or Cal Arts would be, is that once you're all out, you're all pushed off the cliff.
Yeah.
And some of you are going to land, and then you have friends who you went to school with, who you went through those 4 years with, who you can actually hit up, and now you have like a relationship that's already there.
Yeah.
You know?
Like the people that landed, you can the ones that kind of stumbled a little can kind of brace themselves with them.
Exactly, yeah. So like...
Don't be buttholes to your peers.
Yeah, be really nice to everybody. Yeah.
You never know who's going to get you a job.
Dude, I made a lot of mistakes. Like,
Yeah.
I used to just say whatever I thought, and it's a major change in my life. Like working with people every day,
Yeah.
like learning to just say good morning
Yeah.
is like a huge thing. But like,
Man, everyone's different, so everyone has their own little foibles and whatnot, and little character traits that they
Yeah.
need to kind of sometimes mesh with whatever environment they're thrown into.
for sure, social interaction is a bumpy, confusing thing. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, especially for weird, awkward artists.
exactly.
Yeah.
Most of the
We're
animation
still
industry.
learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had a friend in school who was dating a producer at Titmouse Animation, which does
shit.
a lot of the Adult Swim stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I got onto a show called King Star King, which was the same animation crew as Super Jail.
Is that J.J. Villard?
J.J. Villard, yeah.
J.J. Villard, yeah.
So I worked on that for a while. It was really hard. Did character layout, which is kind of something that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, once I did that for a while, I like bounced around Titmouse, did a couple pilots, did a couple shows. I think I worked there for a good like year and a half.
Nice.
And then I was a big fan of this show, Rick and Morty, which had one season out.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this show's really good. And everyone was like, fuck off. Like, I don't know who you are. Stop talking to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm doing a test for it, and no one else was. And so I did a test, and I went into the studio with my portfolio. I had a friend who was working downstairs, and I would like I'm so clumsy. I dropped my portfolio everywhere in front of the art director.
Yeah.
And I got one.
Yeah.
So just stumble into a studio that you like and
Yeah.
be like, what?
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah,
that
there,
works.
there is something that notion that you can kind of walk in the front door and like with a firm handshake and a look in the eye, you can be like, hey, I would like to work here. There's something to that.
I like
Not
your
quite,
chutzpah,
but-
kid. You're hired.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't everybody do that.
Don't.
I mean, like
Don't do that.
I had a really solid portfolio and a good test
Yeah.
that I
You knew
did,
people.
and I knew one person. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Who'd you know
Yeah.
downstairs?
Eric Guan,
Oh, okay.
yeah, name drop.
Name
Yeah.
drop. We love name drop.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
I owe you everything. But, yeah, so I got to be on Rick and Morty Season 2, and, like, that... Once you have something that's, like, a claim to fame, then it's easy. Like, once you're in the doors, it's, like... It's not easy, but it's easier.
For sure.
Yeah.
My ex and I at the time, we were, like, a fan of your work and then your work
Oh.
before I actually got into Rick and Morty. So I think it's so funny that, like, how he said a story earlier about how he was, like, looking up certain artists and everything. And then during all this time, we were, like, looking at your work from King Star King. And then I just, like, I had your Tumblr somewhere and I was, like, a fan of all of your work.
Oh, thanks, Rhea. Well, I'm a fan of your work, too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of no one.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh.
You guys are all great.
I've seen Sabrina grow so much.
Yeah, she's
They're
great.
like the biggest teachers I've ever had. Brent taught me all these like I keep saying your name in every episode whenever it comes to like little tricks and everything.
Yeah, you have.
I know you've like heard it, but he taught me all these like cool perspective tricks. And then Max over here was actually my boss for a bit, and he taught me a lot of tricks for character design. And he's just like the god to emulate in character design.
Well, you can get those tricks at Bam Animation. It's a YouTube channel, bam.redrawmyart@gmail.com.
You can check it out right here.
Yeah.
There's a link or something,
Yep.
maybe.
There's going to be a lower third
We'll do it.
right here.
Yeah.
We might do that. Cool. Wow. So you were able to just kind of walk right into Starburns and drop your portfolio in front of James McDermott.
Starburns is definitely the place where you could just walk in.
Yeah, they're pretty chill.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, Rick and Morty, by the way, do not represent the views of Rick and Morty. I'm a monkey. I go in, I do my work, and I leave, and I'm just an artist. I'm just a wrist. So, yeah, but, like, Rick and Morty is a great studio, and originally they were at a studio called Starburns, which was a very small studio that was sort of it was very relaxed.
Yeah, pretty chill atmosphere.
Exactly. Now that Rick and Morty's so big, it's kind of a different animal, but still amazing. So
yeah, I don't know if you'd be able to walk into
the elevator.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd be able to walk into Rick and people that are thinking they're just gonna walk into Rick and Morty after this. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, you're gonna get escorted out.
Yeah,
I don't
They're
even
very
think,
strict.
You can't find it.
You can't find it.
Yeah.
But feel
Even
free
like
to-
tours are not that easy anymore.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, at one point I forget who it was. Somebody tried to come up and like take a look around, like just a random person in the elevator who was going through when I was getting off. And somebody, I think it was the person at the desk, was like, no, sorry, we can't have you in here. I'm like, oh shit, really? All right.
Was it one of the other people who worked on the other floors?
Probably.
Yeah, somebody else that worked on the floor. They saw like the giant Rick there, and they were like, what the hell?
Oh, so the Rick and Morty building has multiple floors.
Apparently, yeah.
Oh,
Good
no.
luck finding it!
Oh no, it's a secret.
Multiple floor building in LA. Where could that possibly be?
Yeah.
There's only one. Cool. So that's a pretty interesting story. That's how you got into Rick and Morty. Wait, I'm just curious. What other shows did you work on before you bounced over there? Because you said King Star King. You said you bounced around shows.
Yeah.
What other shows were there?
Nico and the Sword of Light. I did the pilot, which got an Emmy.
Nice.
So I have a wrinkled up Emmy award.
Oh, nice.
I have. I worked on. They did like an animated special for a live action show that I worked on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I can't even remember. They're just like little commercial things.
All
here
at
and there.
Titmouse?
All at Titmouse, yeah.
Nice, dude. Cool. How about you, Brent? What other shows have you worked on before you went over to Rick and Morty?
Oh, well, Rick and Morty was my first show.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
literally.
snap.
Yeah.
So how did you didn't tell us your story. How did you get that first gig? I think you started going into it earlier, but like tell us a little bit more detail. How you ended up being internet king to going over to Rick and Morty.
Well, I think at some point I went to a school that did not encourage you to work in any kind of industry.
Mhm.
Like, if anything, they wanted you to like move out to like Marfa, Texas, and be like a gallery.
Shout out to Texas
artist.
State.
Shout out to Marfa.
Marfa.
Suck.
Yeah, it's like a shithole town for conceptual artists.
That's
I
my
don't know.
mother's
No
name.
dreaming.
Yeah.
I would like never want to go there. I don't know. Okay, enough about my school.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I didn't have any money. Like when I was in college, and like I really needed a job, so I like started like looking for like graphic design positions because I knew how to use Adobe Illustrator, and I could figure I'd make illustrations and cheat my way through like the Austin illustration
Practice
scene.
programs.
Yeah. So I started working at like a web design studio in like Austin, making like web animations, which was like a big deal. I was getting paid really well, so I could like actually save up money. And then I figured out slowly that I was like, the only way is going to be to move out to LA, and like I'll save up all my money in the world, and I'll go out there and I'll just live and see if I can make it, and I'll try to be friends with people online, and like maybe one day I'll work in TV and see how it works.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Oh, for sure.
Did you have any doubts in any of this, or did you just keep telling yourself this stuff?
No, I doubted it for sure. I didn't think I was going to be able to make it, but I figured, like, I was having such a terrible time in Texas that at least if I went to LA and failed and lost all my money, I would have tried, and then that would have been something. Like, at least I tried. At least I didn't stay in Texas and do nothing.
You could go to Marfa, worst case scenario.
Yeah, I could move to Marfa, where the rent's like $300. Yeah.
Dream big.
One thing that I've always loved about Brent is that you always do instead of do not. You said I need to move out to LA, and you did. And I think that, like, if you're a person who's going to direct message me on Facebook or Instagram, and you live in Israel and you want to work on Rick and Morty, you have to move to LA. Sorry, like anybody.
Really specific.
Yeah.
Well, somebody
that happened.
Yeah,
it did.
Somebody told me that was how it worked. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. Like, I was friends online with this lady named Marlo Minkins.
Oh yeah, Marlo. Sure,
yeah.
She's one of the John K squad, right?
Yeah, definitely. And she told me because she had worked here like a few years before me. Like, that's how you do it. So I was like, all right, this has been my plan. Like, I gotta try. Like, I gotta do it. And then it was just a lot of like networking online on Facebook, like making art like online and talking to people online. And then when I moved out here, people were very aware that I was here because I was suddenly at parties. Yeah. And eventually that led to just one day I was at my house and I got a Facebook message, and it was like my friend Jack, and he was like, hey man, do you want to like come take over my job at the studio? Like, I'm leaving, I need someone who can color stuff good.
Wow. Oh, so you started as a colorist?
I was a color stylist first. Yeah.
Nice. So you moved to LA kind of with a wish and a dream, right? But how long was that break before you got that first gig? How long did you wait?
I moved here in January of 2013, and I started Rick and Morty in August.
Whoa, so 8 months.
8 months. It was like 6 to 8 months, something like that.
Wow, cool. And any weird existential crises going on during that 8 months?
It was tough because I had actually convinced my then girlfriend to move with me, and she wanted to work in animation too. So this was our plan. We were going to both try to do the same thing. We were going to see if we could make it on our own.
Yeah.
And we were both just working freelance, doing like little graphic design jobs here and there, like from our tiny apartment in Covina.
Yeah.
And like, we didn't think we were going to make it, and there was like like fights and stuff.
Was there ever a point where you both discussed like getting regular jobs at all, just to make some money?
We were
for
getting
rent?
we were getting pretty close to that.
Okay.
So we were, at the time, we were breaking even. Neither one of us was making money, but we weren't losing any money. And I was paying for a lot of stuff myself because I was making a little bit more money than her.
Yeah.
And we were about to get to the point where I was like, one of us is going to have to work at Starbucks. And then that's when the message came in.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and then about 6 months later, she got a job too, and she was working at Nickelodeon, and everything has been uphill since there. I mean, we broke up, and it didn't go well, but
that's fine.
She's doing amazing. She works at like Cartoon Network.
All the best.
Like,
all the best.
Yeah,
and they're all friends. They're still friends.
Yeah, we're still friends.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So you didn't even have to give a portfolio or anything for your first gig. They were just like, hey, here.
Oh well, no, they asked for my website.
Okay.
And that website got forwarded to James McDermott.
Yeah.
And
you'd have to see someone's work.
Yeah.
To hire them. Yeah.
And then, like, I remember he didn't talk about it specifically, but one day, like, I had my site up, and he was like, "Oh, who's that? Oh, wait, that's you. Yeah, I saw this when they wanted you here," and I said, "Yeah, like, that's a good site."
So, nice.
Yeah.
So, I feel like people have this stigma with portfolios where they think that it has to be something super formal, and they don't realize that even having an art blog that you're constantly posting on every single day and just drawing whatever makes you happy, and then also where you kind of think you're learning from something else, I think that's all that matters, because if you're producing good art, people are going to see these blogs, art blogs or whatever on social media and stuff, and that's all you need. I don't know, you don't need some fancy like physical, like, formal portfolio or whatever.
Yeah, I had a WordPress site.
Yeah.
I had a WordPress site that you can, like, scroll down and see images, and that's all you need.
Yeah, there you go.
As long as they see your work, I guess, crisp and clear right there, and it's not hard to navigate. It's probably a step in the right direction.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Do you have a website too, Max?
If you just look up my name, Maximus Julius Pauson,
yeah,
you'll see a lot of things.
Cool.
Some of them
We're going to link all of their sites down below.
Yeah.
We got all your links for down below.
It's not pornography.
Hey,
oh, he was in that one. No, I'm just kidding.
34 commissions.
I mean, I'll accept it if anyone wants to draw some.
Max, you need some SEO optimization because I can help you for a fee.
Submit your pornographic drawings to BAM Animation.
Hell yeah. bam.redrawmyart@gmail.com.
Please make sure it's Rule 34 of them together. That'd be perfect. I would love to see that.
Salmon pro.
But I would rather it be like very loving, like an old couple.
Yeah.
That's what me and Brent's
Like a
relationship
Grunkle
is more
Stan
like.
and Rick.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
There's a term for that. Japanese, like boy on boy.
Is it yaoi?
Yeah,
Yaoi?
yaoi.
Yeah.
Yaoi.
But more like vanilla yaoi.
No,
Yes.
is it Yaoi or Yuri?
No,
What's
I want
Yuri?
Yaoi.
grandpa and grandpa.
Okay, Yaoi.
Yaoi.
Yuri's girl.
Yeah, girls.
Okay.
Yes, girls.
I'm learning things.
It's like the
Just
Tweak and
kidding.
Craig episode. It was all of South Park.
This is so important.
So we've been talking for 40 minutes. I feel like we've been blabbing
I
too
think-
much.
I
Oh,
think
you guys aren't
guys
blabbing. You guys are giving me
covered
great advice.
the great, like, the basics. So,
Yeah.
so I have a question.
Oh,
It's,
sure,
like,
go for it.
Sure.
Good to move on from here on out. So what are you guys doing after Rick and Morty now? Like, what have you guys been on?
hear it.
I did a lot of things. Max actually hooked me up with a pretty sweet job at DreamWorks for a bit, which was awesome. I got to work on a 3D show called Troll Hunters.
Okay.
Whoa.
And then eventually I moved back with Max to work at a Disney show called Futureworm. I did a season of half a season of Harmon Quest. I did a show called Final Space on TBS, which is going to air next month, which is going to be really cool.
Ooh.
And like a few other small things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now you are on.
Now I'm on Animals Season 3.
Everyone knows
you're
animals.
working with this guy.
Yeah, working with Ant. this
I
guy.
worked on season 1, which
Season
is
3 of
kind of...
Animals. Fun stuff.
Yeah, Animals
Fun
is,
stuff.
Animals is a sick show. Like I love working on that.
Yeah, it's a weird show for sure. As far as design goes, it's different than anything else out there.
Yeah, but it's been really cool. Like this has been like a sick show to draw for.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, sick.
I'm
I'm glad you like it.
I'm excited. Like this has been some really exciting portfolio pieces.
Nice. Yeah, most people probably don't know Animals. Check it out. It's on HBO. Season 3. Starting
Yeah.
soon.
bam.redrawmyart@gmail.com.
We should just give you like a drawing of the film.
I'm going to ask you later, hey, Max, what was that one link?
Yeah.
So how about you, Max?
After Rick and Morty.
After Rick and Morty season 2, I worked on Futureworm. I worked on SpongeBob as a prop designer.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
I did
You like SpongeBob? Yeah, I didn't know.
just for a couple episodes.
That's still awesome.
I did I did a couple pitches with with some people that never got through. I'm sorry, I'm blanking right now.
Didn't you work on Animals briefly too?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought you.
I
On
guess I
Harmon
did some
Quest or
freelance.
something.
I didn't do any of that.
No.
I was on Futureworm at Disney for a while,
Uh-huh.
and then I went back to Rick and Morty. Let me see what happened afterward. Okay, and then on season 3, I was a lead designer for character design, and then I went to Disenchanted, which is a new show by Matt Groening. Sabrina works on it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Rick and
okay.
him. Didn't you do like a little bit of stupid buddy work or something? But it
Yeah.
ended up not being like a final design thing.
Yeah, I did some conceptual stuff for Camp WWE, which was like
yeah.
And
And
another
you
Rick
did
and Morty
development work for Disney too.
yeah, I did a little bit. Yeah.
Justin Roiland's thing too.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil. I don't
Wait, what's
want to
Justin
talk about
But he
things
did
that
stuff.
before they come out. Yeah.
What's Justin? Oh,
Yeah.
we can't talk about.
We
No.
can't talk about a couple
But he
things.
did other conceptual stuff.
Yeah. I did some comic book covers.
Oh, sure, for Rick and
Oh,
Morty.
hell
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm really into not working on my time off, so you might not find a lot of personal work on my stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to get more into that. That's why I'm really enjoying BAM animation,
It might be
bam.redrawmyart.
time to start working on your children's illustration.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
shit.
Yeah, that's probably still burning
Start
inside
making
you
a
to do,
children's
right?
book
Somewhere.
about
Oh my god.
Is it?
Maybe.
Yeah. I see a little flame in your eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I have an idea. Since there is a book about poop, why don't you do a book about pee?
That is
Yeah.
brilliant!
It's a miracle.
Yeah. Everyone,
Everybody pees. Some
Yeah.
people sit down, some people stand up.
Yeah.
Everybody
I
pees.
think the real book
Everybody
that
needs-
everyone needs is Everyone Has Sex.
Yeah.
And we all need to get used to that when we're little kids.
I
Not
think there
necessarily,
is
but-
one.
I think
I wouldn't
everyone
know
has
if there is
sex.
one.
That's true. Not
That's
everybody has
true.
sex.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah.
Some people are not that lucky.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Unabomber never had sex.
Yeah, he
Oh,
didn't.
really?
Some people are
Tesla
just asexual.
never had sex.
Yeah.
Asexual.
Oh, yeah.
Some
Sad.
people just like split off.
Why don't
into
you
cells.
just call it most people have sex?
Yeah.
The good ones. The good ones.
Or how about your ancestors had sex?
Yeah.
Clearly,
Yeah.
The ones with the
That's-
superior
We'll call it
genes.
Your Mom Had Sex.
These are great ideas.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but Disenchantment.
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 I'm
It's
like,
gonna
why
be-
do we keep saying Disenchanted?
It's gonna be on Netflix next year. It stars Abby from Broad City, Eric Andre from Adult Swim, and Matt Groening, who made Futurama and The Simpsons.
Yo.
And
Max is a character designer.
I'm a character designer. I've been on it
Yeah.
for a really long time, like almost longer than I've worked on
right?
Rick and Morty. Yeah. So like I've been there for like almost a year and a half at this point. So
Wow.
That's amazing. That's most of your career now.
yeah, it's weird. Yeah,
Nice, dude.
so
That's good, though.
once it airs, you guys will all see it and
Yeah.
you'll all love it.
Nice. I'm
Yeah.
pretty stoked for it, man. I'm
Cool.
a big Groening fan, so I'm like, yeah, I'm so excited.
Cool.
Wait, when's the release date? Is there one?
I don't know, and
It's,
Even if we
September
knew, we
Netflix.
probably wouldn't be
I
allowed to say.
can't say anything.
Can't say.
Yeah,
Netflix.
They have
Pretend
their
I didn't
own
ask.
people.
yeah.
So I know we're getting close. We wanted to try to keep this under an hour, but I have a question for you guys that concerns both of you, like about your YouTube show. How did you guys come up with the idea of your YouTube show? And well, first of all, when did you meet on Rick and Morty?
Yeah,
Rick and
season 2.
You guys met on season
Yeah.
2 of Rick and Morty. So how did you guys come up with the YouTube idea, and how did you guys make it happen?
This is all Brent.
Yeah.
He came up with the idea, and it's awesome.
Oh.
And as soon as you pitched it to me, I was like, we have to do this.
I did come up with the idea, but Max basically refined it and made it like amazing.
Well, how did you come up with the idea?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
Oh yeah.
The way I came up with the idea was I watched YouTube. I got into YouTube this in 2016. I had never really watched it before as like what it is now.
I love you too.
Yeah, and I watched basically how the personalities work, how they get money, how they like become Twitch streamers, and like what interests that age group. And I was like, this is so amazing. Like, I love the people that do this. I want to do it. This is funny. This is a new form of content that's like much more lowbrow and like low production, but can be really funny.
You guys act like YouTubers too. just
Yeah, I
saying.
wanted to act like a YouTuber. I
Yeah.
thought it was fun. And I watched like H3H3 and I was like, how could I do this? Like, what could I do that's
Until-
basically me? Yeah, what could I do that's me that would be this?
Yeah.
And I finally came up with the idea. It's like, okay, it's got to be interactive. And it's got to be about art where I teach them so they get away with they learn something.
Mhm.
So, okay, so people are going to send me art. I'm going to redraw it and talk about it. And it's going to be all like time lapse. And then there's going to be educational. There's going to be like something like that. And then I need another personality who's going to be really good on camera
Yeah.
where I can like bounce ideas off of.
Nice.
And
It's
you
gonna
guys
be Max.
complete each other.
Yeah, you
They're
really
like
do. You
proper
guys-
backgrounds and then your characters. So
yeah,
it's
not
just like,
only in your technical skills you complete each other, but like you guys are great yin yangs to each other
Cool. Yeah.
during the show, so
And
you
I-
guys work out perfectly.
I had actually thought it was going to be Max for like a month, but I never told him because I didn't. I didn't know if he would like reciprocate with the idea or
Hey,
if he
you
would
got
want to
the
go
slot.
follow through with it because it's like a shit ton of work to like edit all that stuff. And when I told him, he just like I sent him a Facebook message and he was just like, "Yes, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Let's do this."
Nice.
Yeah, and I was feeling on that particular day like the bourgeoisie are in charge of all of this,
Mhm.
and like I'm just a prostitute, and that the producer's a pimp. They get all the money.
Yeah.
Why can't I'm the creative person?
Yeah.
You know, why can't I get all the money? You know,
Dude, yes.
so
Preach.
I was like, Brent had this idea, and I thought the idea was awesome because the main thing it incorporated. By the way, the idea for our show, I'll just say,
Yeah,
is
say it.
that little kids or adults, whatever,
Adults, yeah.
send in art that they maybe don't feel comfortable with, or they do feel comfortable with, and then we redraw it the way that it would work in an animated series. So, yes, go for it.
I've always had that idea for a television show.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't care if someone takes it. It's a great
Okay,
idea.
yeah.
It's like literally
They
people would
wanna
send in
pitch
their
it.
like their ideas and concepts, and then we'd make that into a
Oh, you would
short.
animate like a whole short.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Pat-
we would like to do something
Like
where we
a
actually
contest.
animate.
Yeah.
This is already
Yeah, that'd be
patented,
great.
guys.
Well-
You can't take this idea.
We're making little like kind of like pieces,
Yeah.
and actually we're integrating a little bit of movement into it in the next episode, which you'll see hopefully at the end of this month. But that's the main idea, and I thought when you said it, I was like, dude, that is the perfect thing because people crave interaction from the
They
people
crave
they see
interaction.
on the internet.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got my friend who's a composer to write some music. You were totally on top of like the sound. I like cleaned out my whole apartment
Yeah,
and
we
like
built a set.
I built a set in my apartment. I got all these lights. I was like 100% on board.
Brent
Like
is very
what-
tech savvy.
yeah, but I was like 100% on board when you brought it up. And the creative process has been a really interesting thing. And creating something that's truly just yours, even if it's terrible,
Mhm.
is more rewarding than doing someone else's idea. So
That's
Yeah,
why
for
I
sure.
love YouTube.
Yeah.
yeah.
So you guys, anyways, if you guys are interested, you should check it out. It's different than Ass. Ass is like
A long-form
really
podcast.
informative, like long content where you're going to get the super details. BAM is different. You're going to learn a little bit, and it's condensed down into 10 minutes, and we're going to draw super fast, and you're going to get to learn like a few technical skills here and there, and it's all it's like improv, like sketch comedy.
We try to do sketch comedy.
We're trying to do sketch comedy.
Yeah.
I think you're more than trying. You're succeeding. It's good stuff.
Max used to be in theater arts.
Oh,
you're an actor?
Yeah, that was. I made a choice when I went to college that I didn't want to do that.
Oh yeah.
But it helps right now for what you're doing.
Yeah,
you know.
I think I was maybe.
Presence.
I think maybe that I didn't choose to do theater, but theater chose me.
Yeah, dude, you're a funny dude.
No,
it's great.
No, but I was screaming at the top of my lungs, "A Whole New World" from Aladdin and all that stuff. And by the time someone was like, "Put this fucking kid in the show."
Yeah, seriously, that's great. You were a hyperactive kid. They wanted to stick you on stage.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm sure that helps out with your podcast. I mean, with your YouTube show.
It does.
What are some if someone out there wants to make a YouTube show, what advice do you have for them?
You have a phone already. That's all you need.
Yes.
Yeah. No, you just need a phone, and if you have the you just need a computer and like some editing programs, so you can make it all. You don't need anything.
Something that you love to do.
Yeah.
Like there's people that like literally. I heard somebody that just like opens Disney toys or something.
That's content. Yeah.
That's huge. That's like the most viewed videos on YouTube.
Anything can be content in to Yule 2018. Like.
Yeah. And I think like we've been trying to make them consistently, and so
that's all that YouTube wants. It wants to be consistent.
Yeah, like we know our goal is to make 12 videos right now, like once a month, and like when we have 12, I'm gonna love it. And we have like 3 right now. We have a body of work, and we can look at it. We can talk about what's good, what's bad, what's working. Like that's what I really love about it. So if you do it consistently, you have a body of work to like improve upon.
Nice. Yeah, for sure. That's pretty cool. So, okay, I know we wanted to keep this short, so we have about 5 minutes left before we wrap this up, and I'm going to end it the way we usually end it. I'm going to ask 2 quick questions. You guys can bang out some answers. The questions are, what, in this giant journey you've been on in the animation industry from the beginning to here, what is the biggest challenge you faced, and what is the last and best piece of advice you have for aspiring animation professionals?
The biggest challenge? You want to go first?
The biggest challenge for me was, like I was saying earlier, learning to like go in and talk to people every day and like engage and like, because I think it's really easy for people who are artists to be really involved in what's right in front of them and not even realize that there's all these people around. Sure. But the people are honestly more important. And like where you work, like even if you're working on a really awesome show, it could be the most stressful experience of your life.
Sure.
So I think what's really important is like the people around you. And you know, that's a pretty like typical, like everyone always says that cliche thing, but no, it's important to like respect the people around you and make them feel good and make them feel appreciated.
Nice, dude.
And what was the other question?
And what is the last or best piece of advice you have for an aspiring animation professional?
Okay, so you're an inspiring animation professional.
Let's say they're in high school, they're just about to finish up, they want to get their path started.
Right, go to CalArts.
The simplest answer.
Yeah, like if you go to CalArts, you'll have like a train. You'll have you get to make 4 short films at CalArts, which really? I've never made a short film, guys. I have never had the time. He's made short films, but I've never had the time to make a short film, and I'm like I wish I could go back in time and go to CalArts and make a couple short films and have, like we said, the body of work so that I could look at it and like be like, is this
Can
me?
I add something to that?
Yeah.
Don't feel like you need to go to CalArts to make your short film, because I feel very bad that I never went to CalArts, but I don't like discourage
you can
people.
make your own film if you really try. I mean, you can do it in Flash. It's not hard.
Let me revise that.
Yeah.
Let me revise that. You just do it.
Just do it.
And put it out there. So you have that body of work to analyze. Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Swish.
Nobody ever thought of that.
No,
I'm the first.
First person to ever say those words in that order.
Yeah.
Nice. Sick. How about you, Brent? Do you have like the biggest hurdle you faced in this journey?
Oh, my biggest hurdle is just waking up in the morning.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Too.
I mean, I can contest to that. Yeah. It's very true.
I mean, besides that, the biggest hurdle is that you never stop learning, and you are always in fear of like the thing you're gonna do might not be needed anymore, and you might have to learn something else in order to like basically continue doing your same job.
That's a new one. I've never heard that one. So what do you mean? You think like your job will be obsolete eventually?
Well,
just press the animate button?
No, sorry, not that. Like, you might be on a show where a certain style exists, but then no one will need that style anymore, and you'll have to like consistently adapt to new styles, or like work in a slightly different way. Like, eventually, right now I get employed a lot in adult animation, where the style for me has been a little consistent. But like, if I had to change styles and could do a different show that was like super artistic based, like that might be pretty hard. And like that, the thing that I'm good at might not take me very far anymore.
Nice. So the biggest challenge for you think is like flexibility and being ready to be flexible.
Being ready to be flexible.
Yeah, you should be a good chameleon. You should be able to change your skin.
Nice.
Based on where you are.
Yeah.
Be a chameleon, guys. That's really good advice. Nice.
Yeah.
And how about is that also your advice for everybody, or do you have any like last minute advice for like aspiring young dudes and dudettes?
My last minute advice would be if you haven't already, you should be posting your art online, and if you are doing that, keep posting. Like, that's all you need is a body of work online that people can click on, and for people to actually look at it, and you'll just slowly improve over time and start like getting rid of the old stuff and adding more new stuff.
For sure.
That's all you need.
Take it from the guy who exploited the internet to his advantage in the perfect way. That is a good advice. Nice. I think we wrapped it up, and we're just under an hour. This is perfect. This is the first time that's ever happened.
GG, guys.
Wow.
Brian's words of wisdom. That's the only thing that we're missing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right. Sabrina shouted from off screen here. Brian's words of wisdom.
What's your words of wisdom, Brian?
Wow, I didn't know there was a segment.
Yeah, it's a segment. Last, he has like just a quick bit of advice, I guess.
I mean, you guys pretty much nailed everything that's important.
Don't be a dick!
No, don't be a dick. Passion, persistent, show your work, be versatile. Those are all great advice for not just getting work in the industry, but maintaining work in the industry. Because think about it, it's not just you're going to work on one show for the rest of your life. You're going to have consistent a lot of shows. Unless it's Simpsons. Then you work on one show for the rest of your life.
Oh, God.
But
let me tell you about my friend Chris Bolden.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So
name drop.
Yeah, being versatile, being consistent. Again, like whether you go to school or whether you don't go to school, putting your work up and making connections is like 80% of like getting a job in the industry. Maybe 89% of like getting a job in the industry.
Yeah.
And I would actually like to say, when you're done at the end of the day, forget about it all. Forget about all of it. Just go home and do something that is really hard, that is not animation.
Yeah,
like
play games or hang out or do whatever.
Yeah, put yourself in a position where you're the smallest fish in a school of sharks.
Yeah, I like what you brought up. Like, go to parties, socialize.
Yeah, I went to Channel 101, dude.
Nice.
I was gonna say do jujitsu.
Yeah, that's fair.
like go put yourself in a position where, or do improv. I did some improv. Do something you've never done.
Contacts
outside of animation, and try to make that like a
clear your brain.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
You need balance. That comes back to balance. You can't all be about one thing. You gotta make sure you're cool. Well, do you guys have any last minute things to add?
Thank you for having us,
dude. Thanks for being here. You guys were
how
fucking
can they
kick
find
ass.
you?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys want to find us, check out our YouTube channel, BAM Animation, youtube.com/BAM Animation. We all have websites that are going to go up the screen on right now, probably.
Wow.
Instagrams like that. And
Maximus Quack on Instagram for me. Yeah.
Brent Noll. You can just Google me.
That's with no K, just an N.
Like and subscribe to Ass Animation.
Animation Success Stories.
Yeah.
We're very grateful.
Like and subscribe, guys.
Thank you. We're grateful.
Check out our YouTube channel.
Check out our YouTube channel if you like it. Send your art in. Yeah.
No, you will like it.
.redrawmyart at gmail.com.
I will actually open an email that you send me, look at your art, and then redraw it and tell you what I think.
We do that literally every day. It pops up on our phone.
Nice. That's cool. I bet you guys get a lot of submissions. Like,
we get a few. But we always need more because sometimes we knock out a whole bunch in one episode.
Yeah, which is what we're going to do on this next episode. I might spoil it a little bit. A bunch of people submitted fantasy art, and I combined all of them, and we were making an RPG crew.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, it's going to be very fun.
Something for you guys to look forward to. When can they expect that episode?
2 weeks.
2
weeks. Oh,
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Chances are that means your episode dropped right before this episode comes out, because this is probably going to be in 3 weeks.
Fuck yeah, so go to BAM Animation.
And go check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out right now. It's up. Cool.
Was
well,
It's probably up by now when you're watching
It's
this.
up.
Yeah.
It's
Why
so
are you watching
good.
this?
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
really
good.
good.
We
Yeah.
really didn't fuck it.
Dude,
Front
you guys
page of
are great.
Reddit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got all the jokes that I wrote, and we
Yeah.
didn't edit them out.
Dude, that RPG crew you made was fantastic.
Thank
I
you.
loved every one of them. They were great.
Love it.
All right, guys.
Cool. Well, thanks for
See ya.
joining
Thank
us,
you
guys.
so
Thank you.
much. See ya.
Thank you, Sabrina. Thank
Yeah.
you, Brian.
guys are
Thank
awesome.
you.
Grant.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Yeah, no
Thank you.
problem, guys.
Thank you,
You
Nick.
guys kicked so much ass. Thank you
We're
so
We're gonna
much.
go live with you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna go live in a minute, so that means you probably watched that already 3 weeks ago. So, thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for watching the Animation Success Stories podcast. Make sure you guys check us out, like and subscribe, and we will see you
Share.
guys next time
Yes.
in the ass. Thanks, everybody.
Woo!
Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Maximus. Peace.
Peace.